Okay, hello everyone. Let's play Chess960 with 45-minute time controls. Maybe, in case my opponent actually moves, that is. But this might be a good practice, and of course I should have paid attention there. I think b6 in order to open this bishop and straight away attack the pawn on g2. Which is of course easily met by knight f3. So what to do now? Well, I might as well... Interestingly enough, if I do this, for instance, I may want to go to knight f5. Perhaps. So, or to h5. Can't defend both unless I play g6, but that's stupid. I think knight f6 is the only reasonable move unless I actually play this. Well, I don't want to... No, that's silly. I'm gonna play this. Knight to f6 and castle, I guess. Spent way too much time to think how well I can met the move knight f5 or something threatening this pawn. Now that of course I realized that I can castle and that threat is no longer there. So what will that move do? Opens up the queen's diagonal so that it can perhaps go to g5. I might reply in kind, or actually play this. I know it blocks my bishop, but it does control the e4 square, which might become important. Also covers the f5 square with the queen, but the queen might want to go to g5. I of course could defend by playing queen to g4. And in order to get this bishop into play, I might play c5, bishop c7. Because I'm not sure if I want to move this pawn at all. And even if I do, this bishop has limited squares to which it can go. And therefore, I'm not at all convinced that I should play that move. Now, however, after b4, I might consider it. Just in case. Well, I don't want to allow bishop takes f6. I want to keep my pawn structure intact. So, if bishop takes, but okay, castles, I think I will reply in kind, and castle too. So, and knight g6 next is reasonable idea. And I think this should be alright for me still, but this move, does it want to go to c5? Maybe it wants to. Maybe I play c5. Probably not. Actually, I might play bishop to e7. Sure. I know that this knight is still not developed, but I think it can hold on for a while still. Of course, if my opponent plays c5, I might need to take it. It might lead into the exchange of the rooks. And actually, I may have, well, it might have been a good idea to just take on c4. Well, maybe not. It might be good in the sense that then this light squared bishop has more scope, but taking on c4 would undermine my control with e4, an important central square. So, yeah, I think knight g6 next, unless something like takes or c5 happens, or other move that requires my immediate attention. Then knight g6, but and if pawn takes here, I will take back with the knight, I think. Threaten to take on b4. If c5, well, I'm not sure if I actually want to take it. Yeah, probably I'd want to, in order to get some lines open at least, so that this won't be a closed game no more. I assume my opponent might have thought about the move bishop b3 at some point, but of course now it's not playable in view of bishop takes b4. Well, maybe it is. Because pawn takes. Well, no. Still not playable. Bishop to a4 might be a possibility. It might hinder the way I do things, but okay. Now, after I think the longest thing that my opponent has done in this game so far, plays c takes d5, which I'm okay with. since I will take back with the knight and indeed threaten the take on b4. So, well, a3, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, okay. That the plan that my opponent had was all good. Double c5 now. Actually, yeah, I might do just that. Increase the pressure on the b4 pawn. Try to be the one with the initiative as much as possible. Of course, I should at some point develop this edge knight. Need to be somewhat careful on what happens on this diagonal, of course. Queen b2 at some point might be a bit awkward. And that move might be awkward too, actually. I almost played knight f4 and sacrificed a knight there. So if I played this, yeah, should be playable for now. Might then play rook to d8 in order to attack the d pawn. But again, knight to g6 knight to g6 is a move that I ought to play sooner rather than later, because there's a bit annoying moves, maybe knight to e5 in some cases, because after knight here my opponent might be able to double my pawns. So I think knight g6 should be my next move. Unless this knight moves here or here, and then I might play rook to d8, for instance. What? So e4 happened. I played already a move. Why is my clock still running? I disconnected. What is going on here? Didn't recognize my move. What the? Really? Well, this says I'm still online, and the last position is this. Why didn't it recognize this move at all? I don't know what is going on there. Also, I need to do something. I'm gonna get this camera out for a while. Only for a moment. Okay, back again. Sorry about that. Had to disconnect my speakers. And the wolf. Don't ask me why. Okay, so pawn takes c5. Well, both bishop takes and queen takes seem a bit awkward. Bishop takes might allow bishop takes f6. Queen takes, bishop takes here, pawn takes. Well, the bishop in that line would threaten the pawn on a3. Actually, I might take back with the pawn, even though it weakens my pawn structure. But it does leave this pawn a backward pawn. Sure, oh, sorry. Need to avoid that. So rook takes rook might be a possible play. Okay, my opponent does that, so queen takes, obviously. Forced. And maybe, just maybe, next move I can play knight g6 again. Maybe, just maybe. Then I want to perhaps relocate this bishop to a6, though before I do that, rook to d8. In order to pressure the pawn on d3. And of course if it moves now, then pawn takes, knight or bishop takes, and then interesting. Well, either it wins a pawn or wins my pawn structure, so taking back on c5 with the pawn didn't actually solve my problem. And what happens if I take back with the pawn? The thing is that pawn takes, queen here. And knight is about to jump to h5. Wow. Takes here, queen h6. Knight here, no. Knight here, and how am I supposed to defend against the mate? So I have to actually give up the pawn. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think another loss is incoming. Now maybe knight g6. Maybe get some play, maybe. Bishop e7, try to get this a pawn. But I have to be honest with ya, doesn't look good for me. Pawn down, but I do have the bishop pair, which might work in my advantage, perhaps. Well, I have to make these bishops work somehow, so in order to get some counterplay possibilities. Also knight f4 might be a thing in some positions, especially after rook e1, but okay, that's silly threat that most likely won't work. But okay, I'm still kinda glad that I played that, because the double pawn might have actually happened, and the queen h6 move, which I didn't see earlier, might have been played and I might have been lost, so it seems I'm getting my rating down fast. And also because my opponent's rating is so much lower than mine, it will get some beating. Oh well. I'm sure this might be the third consecutive loss. If I lose this game, that is. It's quite likely that I might do just that. So where should I put the rook? If I play it here, then my opponent is likely to play d4. So actually, I might play rook here and threaten the queen instead, because that might allow me to get my other piece into play, meaning the queen and the light square bishop. It might have some potential on this diagonal, but for now it's not actually doing much, just attacking this pawn, which is protected in a good way. So what will my opponent do, or rather where the queen goes? That's an interesting move that actually loses the pawn back with rook to c3. So I might salvage a draw. Maybe even get something more out of this position. I briefly considered e5 as an intermediate move, but of course there rook takes queen should win with ease. if I had not that option, then I might really be losing here. But now that I get this pawn, I might actually also get this one later on, maybe. And I liked my pawn structure compared to my opponents. So okay, does this move have any tricks attached to it? I don't think it does. I will take the pawn now. Even the material, now that I have the bishop pair, I should be doing quite okay again. Okay, there. Fair enough. Maybe rook d8. Or where do I want to put the rook? Either rook d8 or back to this square, but then there's the option of playing a rook to b3. And that might have the option of rook b2. So I might actually do that. And it also prevents rook to b1. So I kinda like this. Except for that move, which I of course missed completely. Now of course rook here, well, it still works, but well, rook c3 now, I guess. I don't really want to play rook b2. It might have some benefits, but I'm not all that convinced. At some points my opponent actually might have tricks involving e5. Now if I can maintain a rook here on the third rank, I might actually be able to play knight to e5, which should be beneficial for me, but yeah, I don't know what might happen. Maybe rook b1 here might be a thing, but I think there queen to c8, trying to get the rook and queen battery going. I might also play moves like h6 in order to get a square for my king, so that there's no back rank tricks, or at least not so obvious ones. Okay. Up in the clock about 3 minutes. Which is of course good, but usually in my games, if I use more time, I'm more likely to win. usually when I'm down on time, I have a higher winning chance than when I use less time than my opponent. But of course, there are exceptions. Right, so I have no idea what my opponent might do. Actually, rook d1 and getting the rook here might be something that my opponent will consider. However, rook d1, knight e5 is a possibility, which of course threatens to win a pawn, but it interferes the cooperation of the bishop and the rook. And it might, well, okay, it was played. What now? Do I continue with queen to c8, or do I try to exchange material with this move? Maybe I do. But that does allow rook d7 after knight takes e5, but I'm not sure what else to do, to be honest. Well, queen c8, of course, and reply rook to d7 with rook c7. No. Actually, the rook can't leave the first rank. At least not yet, because of rook c1 check wins. So yeah, I want to play this. Let's see if my opponent actually goes for the thing. However, queen d2 is interesting, but it is answered with knight takes f3 check, and I win a pawn there. And since the d8 square is covered, I'm not mated in the meantime. Okay. Since there's no increment or anything like that, it's good to be up in the clock and keep that advantage in the clock department. Try to increase the pressure that way in the direction of my opponent. Okay, that move I will... Well, if I take back with the... Well, queen takes is possible. It also has the option of bishop takes e4, though not recommended in any way. Because the bishop might get pinned with rook to e1. think next move should be h6. Get out of the pin. I mean, get out of the situation where back rank issues might become a thing for me. Also, queen c5, rook here is a thing that I might do. It's actually a good plan. Queen c5 followed by a rook here. If it's not dealt with, I will win, but I'm certain that my opponent will come up with something in order to defend there. Well, g6 actually might be a better alternative to h6, actually. Maybe. At least it seems like it now. So if I were white, I probably would give this rook some, I mean this king, some room to breathe in and probably play the move h3, but that does have some problems in view of bishop h4. And I would be close to winning some material there. So actually my opponent's position is very difficult, and I'm not at all certain what puam should do. So about 20 moves played in, what, half an hour or something? Okay, that does threaten some things, like queen check, bishop takes, rook takes mate, which means that I will play h6. And get some luft to the king. Queen to d6 is a possible move. For sure. Might actually need to trade queens there. No, once more, it seems. Queen b8 is a safe move. Of sorts. I think I will have to play that. Unfortunately. Because otherwise I think I will lose material. after this I mean there might be a position where the queens have to be traded. Queen e8, I mean, it's a possible move for sure. Queen b7 might be a thing at some point. Maybe next move. But okay, I think it might be slightly worse now. And slightly because this bishop would need to be in a better place. It really doesn't have any good squares to which it can go for now. Queen b7, I think. But again, something else. Maybe bishop b7. Try to play a6, but even there, this pawn would become extremely weak. So will my opponent actually trade queens now? It might be a thing, but I think there my position should be better than what my opponent has. But for now, I think in this particular position, white might be slightly better due to the somewhat more active pieces. I might be wrong and this might be an equal position. And the clock situation has become better, but I may need to use more time in order to come up with strong moves. So that well, rook c1, rook c8 threatening rook d8 is a thing, unless of course queen e8 forces the trade of queens. That's an interesting idea. And the bishop has to move somewhere. If rook c7, the knight takes f6 check first and then the queen moves. However, this did lose a pawn. but I'm not at all certain if I can take it. If bishop takes here, knight takes, check, pawn takes, and queen to d4 threatens the rook, the bishop, and the pawn. So good move by my opponent, for sure. I may need to play this, but I mean, sure, don't know what else to do. I'm actually in some possibly serious trouble right now. That being a thing and I lose a thing. Unbelievable, I didn't... Why couldn't I see that? Because I'm a blind man, even though actually it was lost probably after queen b8. I should have taken the pawn, I guess. No. That lost too. Well, actually, my mate threat actually is something that might save me. Because rook can't take here, because this is mate. No, it isn't. Bishop goes in between. Unbelievable. Such bad play by me. The fact that this isn't even made. Well played by my opponent. I'm guessing no. Well, actually, now I allowed 2 pieces to go there. And the A pawn probably wins the game. Maybe I'm gonna play this. Try to get my rook here. What the Ah, knight fork. Unfreaking believable. So everything went wrong there. Resigned. Well played, and then I'm gonna look at the game. Maybe after that go and hit my head against the brick wall. Not really, but kind of feel like it this time. Okay, now that the analysis is complete, we can check how well the moves compared to moves that have been previously played. Knight g3, about 60 games played, and white scores quite well. Okay, this game I apparently wasn't one of those 60 games. Most common move b3, not surprising, threatening the undefended pawn on g7. So knight g3 and then b6. Nothing all that interesting there. b6 most common. Played 18 times. Then knight f3. Again most common, and white does quite well there. Knight f6. Still in quite reasonable play, even though it seems, what, 3 out of 5 games white has won. Whoops. Sorry about that, went a bit too far. So knight f6 was, yeah. Okay, now we are in the right place. d3 once played. And okay, that was in the game I just played and lost. So I assume it is the only reference game from now on, yes. Let's not look at that. Well, white is white has a small advantage according to this. Bishop b7. C takes 5 and wow, knight takes d5, losing move already. The reason being what, actually? Wants to play bishop g7, but what is the point of it? I mean, bishop takes g7. Honestly, I might be blind, but I'm not sure. King takes knight check here. And okay, I have a terrible position. Tactics don't see anything. Just nothing. Yeah, I mean, just no words. Lost after what, 7 moves? Should have played bishop takes and e4 there. White is doing quite well in this line, I think. However, e4 might, well, no, that taking there would be silly, since the bishop gets trapped. And a3 was a bad move. It just responded to the threat I had to the b pawn. Can't see these moves at all. It's so silly. And then I went and played another horrible move, c5 it seems. Should have played knight f6, e4. Reason being that bishop takes g7 would have still worked. Not that my opponent actually did that, so let's see. There. Probably very resignable position in this case, but no. Yeah. So okay, only after e4 when it was forced to move, I play knight f6. And bishop c2, c takes b4. This is weird, but I guess the bishop will do some nasty things along this diagonal eventually. B takes c5, and of course I played a dubious move, but I'm not sure. Well, considering how the game went, queen takes c5 would be obviously something I ought to consider. I mean, queen takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. Sure, my position might not be a very good one, but at least it would be better than in the game. However, I should still be okay. I wonder what it would have done had I taken on here with that. Oh yes, queen here, I guess, and game over very soon. So I should have compensation for the pawn, since it's only, I mean, the Stockfish thinks that's about even. Rook c8, now queen a3, mistake, rook c3. Did find the best move, and queen there was of course better. Sure, this might be a playable position. Did get some advantage there, but not much. My opponent certainly had his or her chances earlier on, but luckily for me, didn't use them. Well, I guess it doesn't matter since I lost eventually anyway, but even then, queen takes, still good. So what? Why is this playable? Oh yes, I should not have taken here. Then I might actually get something back. Should have just played king h7, but I thought this would be the way I saved the bishop. Of course wasn't, since I didn't see bishop f1 for some incomprehensible reason. And okay, queen takes d8, after that it was completely lost. But we can check this line. Okay, and now I guess I will survive. Not that it matters much, since even in this line I'm doing quite badly. And the rook here, rook a3, seems horrible. And it would be vital to get back to c7. with the rook bishop here and then maybe a6 is a thing, but otherwise rook a3, don't agree with that. Because this seems quite lost to me, to be honest. Well, it does have some potential, but even then, way too risky line, in my opinion, for black to play. Okay, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye bye.